Hey boys and girls, welcome back. It's me, Keith the Misprint Guy, and welcome to week 56, in which I share with you all kinds of strange and unusual cards from a game called Magic the Gathering. Misprints, test prints, if there's something downright weird with it, I want to share it with you. So now what do I have for you this week? Well, for lack of a better terminology, I'd like to share with you cards that have been double printed. Now that's a very vague and generic term, and I can assure you that this that you're seeing right here on camera is not going to be that easy for you to see, so let me just drop in a scan. The first and best card that I want to share with you is my Lotus Petal. In addition to still being a very well used and played card from Tempest, this is a common, and yes, I did get it signed myself. But if you look at it, I can assure you this is not a bad scan. This is how the card actually looks. At some point during the printing process, the card must have gotten shifted, and if they did more than one printing of the black, it's very obvious that there's like that weird shadow behind it. And I have quite a few of these, and when I make them up into a page in my misprint binder, it certainly is hard to look at just because of how these cards look. So let me just drop in a couple more scans of some cards that aren't quite as good. One of the first ones that I want to share with you is Eye for an Eye. Now, this was a card that won me a lot of games way back in the day, I assure you. Well before most of you were playing, this was a card that I used, so I made sure that when I found this misprinted copy, this was a card I wanted in my collection. And it is, of course, not as extreme as the Lotus Petal, but there's definitely some blurriness. And there are cards that you will find that have this kind of issue, and they can range from very slight to the point where you barely notice it to, well, like I said, that Lotus Petal. What really helps bring out just how bad and how blurry that Lotus Petal is the fact that it has been signed, and that really helps kind of bring it more. The autograph itself keeps it a little more in focus when you're staring at it. And well, I know a lot of you like angels, so let me share with you another really good copy. I have quite a few of these cards, but these three are probably the three that are best to show off just because of their severity. And this is an Opal Archangel, and it's Jeff Mercola, and I really like this card as well because, I mean, who doesn't like angels? And this is a fantastic example of a card that is blurry. Again, this is a rare from Urza Saga, and what's really good to know is by holding this one card in my hand, I can assure you that there are other Urza Saga rares out there with this kind of a problem. Now, depending on where it is in the sheet and how things got shifted, there may not be as excellent of examples from that page, but if you are thinking of some of those really good Urza Saga rares out there, yes, it is quite possible that there is a Gaia's Cradle or other fantastic rares from that set that have this kind of an issue. Now, as far as what I can really add to this kind of a mistake, it should be obvious that during the printing process, with that being shifted, that is how something like this has occurred. There are cards that I see quite typically from older sets. For instance, just recently we opened up some Legends product, and there were a few cards that are like that, but I swear to you, I went through my Legends commons and they all look like that. So there are certain cards that have this issue almost regardless, and I see that in the first year of printing. The really old sets, some of them are just downright strange and weird. But this is a better example of something that didn't typically happen, and with the double printing, it makes it, well, if I stare at it too long, it gives me a headache, but other than that, this is something that I find interesting. And of course, the Lotus Petal, I happen to get lucky, and that was the first example that I found, and it was fantastic. So unfortunately, I haven't seen any since that are that good, but just judging by the other cards that I've shared with you, you can see how they range in severity. So that's really all I can tell you. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, you feel free to get a hold of me. Otherwise, I will see you soon, so take care.